Hey viewers, my name's Cara. I'm your host for Tuesdays on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about cleansing. The question is actually about how we cleanse when we move into a new space, and whether there's any nuance between initial cleansing or ongoing cleansing. And I thought that was such a cool question. We haven't really gotten that specific question about the nuance before. So when I move into a new space, whether that is literally moving my place of residence or just getting to work in a new space, in a ritual context, whatever the case may be, indoor spaces, because outdoor spaces don't really need cleansing so much as maybe dedicating or consecrating if you want to do that. But it depends. Yeah, it depends all on the situation. But for indoor spaces, when I move into a new space, I smudge. I do cleanse using smoke. And I also do salt water for sure, and sometimes also lemon. Sierra, I have the baby cat now. So first I would physically cleanse the space entirely, actually physically clean it. That's always really important, especially if it is like moving into a new house, because you never know, and sometimes it's not done that well. So I always physically cleanse first, and then do an energetic cleansing. Smudging, salt water, lemon water. Sometimes I'll use rose water. It depends on what I'm going for, but definitely a salt water cleanse and a smudge using sage, typically, is what I would do. And the biggest difference that I can think of between that initial cleansing and any ongoing cleansing, firstly, is whether I do any ongoing cleansing at all. If it's my home space we're talking about, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But also just that the initial cleansing is much more thorough, and that's when I actually tend to take whatever I'm smudging with, or the incense that I'm using to cleanse, or whatever the case may be, actually take that around into the corners of the space, and down below and under any furniture that may already be there, in the closets, behind the curtains, behind the blinds, things like that. So really just making it a lot more thorough. That's probably the biggest thing. And then for any ongoing cleansing, if I'm even going to do it, like if it's my home space, this is my home space. Like I know what the energy is here. And for the most part, whenever the energy starts to feel stale in my home space, the first thing I do is open the doors and windows, because a lot of the time it's just getting that fresh air in there. And I do burn candles and I do burn incense and stuff like that, but that's more just me doing whatever I'm doing, or just kind of creating an ambiance. That's not a cleansing thing at that point. The biggest cleansing thing that I do is just airing the place out. See, I usually don't come across any time where my space feels like it needs to be cleansed, because I live alone now, which is a good thing currently. When my old roommate, who was very negative, very toxic energy, moved out, I did a thorough cleansing as though I had just moved into the space, because there was negativity there that needed to be removed. So that was the smudging, the saltwater cleansing, airing out, and also physically cleaning everything that I could, and I rearranged everything, and I brought my stuff out here into the common space, and I let my energy take over. And now, I had another roommate in between there who came and then left, but their energy didn't leave any residual badness, so I didn't have to cleanse after that roommate left, and now I live alone, just me and the cat. So anybody that I invite here is someone that I've invited here, so there's nothing here that I need to cleanse. When I got back from witch camp recently, while I was there, I was anticipating that when I came home I would want to cleanse, because I just felt like I felt so good, and I was worried that I would come home and everything would feel wrong and I would want to redo everything. And I was delighted to find that when I came home to my home space, it felt right. And I thought, oh, that's just great, because I was worried about that. But it was all my energy, good stuff, and so I didn't have to do anything. So yeah, so that's probably the biggest difference, is that I don't really do any ongoing cleansing. I will say, if I'm in my home space and I'm doing a ritual where I'm going to cast sacred space, create sacred space, I should say, cast a circle or do whatever, the most common thing that I do in that case is I consecrate the space, or I dedicate the space to that thing that I'm about to be doing by using sound. I recently purchased for myself a small, home-sized singing bowl. It's something that I've wanted for quite some time now, and I went to one of my local witchy shops, and they happened to have one, and it was the last one they had, and it was purple. So it's my favorite color. So I got that for myself, and that's what I use to consecrate my space, or kind of flip that switch between just everyday living here reality and, okay, we're about to do something that requires a different kind of consciousness or a different type of dedicated space. Outdoors, I really don't do anything. So, yeah, that's what I do personally, and I know there are lots of different ways to go about it. If you live with parents, or if you live with siblings, if you have different housemates, or if you're in a college dorm room, or anything like that, there are definitely ways to cleanse your space that are allowed in those environments, such as not having blades, not having candles. You can always do the salt water thing. That's a big thing for me. Yeah, so there are options for you, and I know that not everybody's living situation is the same as mine. That's what I end up doing personally. So that's my pagan perspective. Ding! Title of channel. Okay, well, I'm going to end my video, and I will see you, I think, in the coming year, because I believe next week is subs week already, or maybe we have one more week, and then subs, and then holiday break. Anyway, I'll see you when I see you. You can also pop over to my personal channel. I'll be doing some stuff, more stuff about witch camp, and I also just recorded a video today about some stuff that I got at the bookstore that I'm going to toss in there as just a fun thing to kind of break it up. So I will see you next time, and until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye.